everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
It is Wednesday, so we're going to be having a story problem today. And if you can guess what our story problem is, can anyone take a guess? What do you think it's going to be about? Miss Rosales, I know you're super excited about this one.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at these stars and it reminds me of Star Wars.
Mhm. Kind of. It's about, it's actually because I know that we've been talking about space and the sun and the moon in our readers workshop lessons. So I wanted to tie it with math because a lot of the times our math can be connected to real world problems. That's why there are story problems. So our story today is about an astronaut. And while I'm reading the story, I want you to visualize the problem. Remember, we always go through 3 reads of our story problem. The first read is when we visualize the problem and we find out who the character is and what this character is doing, just like a real story. And then the second read is when we look at the number and we try to figure out what those numbers represent. And then our last read is when we try to find out what we're being asked to do, because as mathematicians we always have a goal and something that we're trying to solve. So that would be what we're doing today. So while I read the story, I want you to visualize what is happening in the story and make a movie in your head. And I provided this beautiful visualization so that you can really try to immerse yourself in the story. All right, here we go. An astronaut is traveling to another planet in outer space. She needs to travel miles to reach her destination. So far, she has traveled miles. How many miles does she still need to travel to reach her destination? All right. And I love how I saw Miss Rosales really immersing herself and closing her eyes to help her visualize the story. And that's something that I do too, so that I can feel like I'm really there and create my setting. So with that said, if you have an idea, so right now I want you to think about who is the story about and what is the character doing. So that's a really important part of our story problem process. So if anyone has an idea, remember, friends at home, if you need some more think time, pause the video to give yourself some more time to think about what the story is about. Miss Rosales, what is the story about today?
So the story is about a girl astronaut, a female astronaut who is traveling in outer space.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And do you know where she's traveling to?
I don't know. I need help.
I'm glad that you asked for help because that's fine. Does anyone know where she's traveling to? Miss T?
And she has to travel to another planet in outer space.
Yes, another planet. So that was just kind of a quick trick question to see if you were paying attention, Mr. Rosales.
I was just seeing her zoom by, okay?
Yeah, I know you were very excited about the fact that it was an astronaut traveling. So we know that this astronaut is traveling to another planet in outer space. So now I'm going to show you the problem and we're going to read the problem. But before we read it the second time, we're going to pick our number set. So Ms. Hernandez, can you pick our number set today?
Yes, I think I'd like to choose 45 and 21.
45 and 21, you got it. All right. And Miss T noticed before we started this video, she noticed that the number sets are kind of mixed around. Usually the smaller numbers are first and then the larger number set is the last one. But this time I tried to switch them around to get you to choose a number set that maybe you might not have chosen before. So to look at the numbers and really think about how can we challenge ourselves. So Miss Hernandez picked 45 and 21, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to circle my number set and plug it in. Ms. Hernandez, can you read our story problem?
An astronaut is traveling to another planet in outer space. She needs to travel 45 miles to reach her destination. So far, she has traveled 21 miles. How many miles does she still need to travel to reach her destination?
Beautiful. All right, so now we want to think about, it's our second read, so now we want to think about what these numbers represent in the story. So what does 45 mean and what does 21 mean? Miss T, I know you're ready. What does 45 mean in this story?
45 means the total number of miles she needs to travel to get to the destination.
Thank you for using that keyword total, because we need to make sure we're going to reread the sentence. It says she needs to travel 45 miles to reach her destination. The total amount. Thank you. And Miss Hernandez, what does 21 mean in this story problem?
The 21 means that's how many miles she already has traveled.
So far she has traveled 21 miles. She already made the journey of 21. So if she needs to travel 45 miles and she's already traveled 21 miles, I'm wondering, how much more does she need to travel? So we're going to read this one more time and we're going to think about what are we being asked to solve. So Ms. Rosales, can you read the story for us?
Sure. An astronaut is traveling to another planet in outer space. She needs to travel 45 miles to reach her destination. So far, she has traveled 21 miles. How many miles does she still need to travel to reach her destination?
So let's think for a second. What are we being asked to do? We can look back at the problem, or maybe we already know. When you have an idea, put a thumb up on your chest. What are we being asked to do in this story problem? Miss T, can you share what we're being asked to do?
I think it's the question at the very end, how many miles does she still need to travel to reach her destination? So I'm imagining there was 45 total miles and she's traveled 21. So she needs to find out how much this amount is.
And I love that representation that you use. I know sometimes people use a bar to represent a whole. So her whole would be the 45 miles, correct? 45 miles as the whole, but she has already traveled about 21 miles, but we're trying to figure out how much more she needs. So what this amount is. So how many more miles she needs to travel to make the total 45-mile journey. So right now, teachers and friends at home, is your working time. So I want you to use an efficient strategy to figure out how many miles the astronaut needs to travel to reach her destination. So friends at home, you can press the pause button to give yourself more working time. And teachers, if you can just put a thumb up when you are ready. I'm gonna have 2 people share their strategies, so be ready because I might call on you to share. Ooh, Miss Hernandez is ready to go. She was working before. Thank you, Miss Hernandez. We'll wait a couple more seconds. You'll be the first one to share, Miss Hernandez. So get ready, and then when everyone else is ready, we'll share. And Miss T, I forgot what this strategy is called, but I know they use it in 3rd grade a lot.
I think it's called the tape diagram.
Tape diagram, yes. So that's another strategy we can add into our toolbox. We have so many other strategies that we use. All right, waiting for one friend.
And I think the tape diagram kind of serves kind of like our number bond. It's not necessarily a strategy, but it's a tool for helping us visualize what we're actually doing with our math.
Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, it does remind me of a number bond. All right, Ms. Hernandez, can you start by sharing your strategy with us?
Sure. So I decided to use place value to help me find the difference. So first I went ahead and I put 45 for the miles that she needs to travel. I took away the 21 that she already did travel. So I took away 2 10s, that's 20, and a 1, that's 21. And that left me with 10 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Beautiful strategy. So that was very quick, and we will see if it's correct. But it's so far, her strategy seems like it is. She did it the correct way. She wrote 4 tens to make 40, 10, 20, 30, 40. And then she added those 5 ones, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And then she knew that this was taking away, that was subtraction. How did you know that this was a subtraction sentence, Ms. Hernandez?
Because it's asking how many more miles does she need to travel to reach her destination. And we know that she already traveled 21. So we need to find out how many more to get to 45.
So then she took away that 21, which we know 21 has 2 tens and 1 1. So took away the 1 and then took away 2 tens. And it gave us 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we have a total of 24 more miles she needs to travel. All right, thank you for your strategy, Ms. Hernandez. And let's see, Ms. T, can you give us a second strategy so that we can compare?
Yeah, so I actually did a friendly number strategy. I did 45 minus 21 as well, but because I noticed that 21 I know is made out of 20 and 1, I subtracted 45 minus 20 first, because I think that's an easier number for me to subtract in my head, because I know 45 take away 2 tens would be 25. And then after that, I took the leftover 1 and I did 25 minus 1 equals 24. And so I got 24.
Beautiful. Leave that up for a second so that I can copy it just for our friends so that they can see. So you had 45. You decomposed 21. Remember, decomposing means taking apart into friendlier numbers. So you decomposed 21 into 20 and 1. And then you subtracted 45 minus 20 equals 25. And how did you get 25 so quickly, Miss T?
Because every time I see a 0 in the ones place, I know my ones are going to stay the same when I'm subtracting. And so I left the 5 there, and then I took away 2 tens. 4 minus 2 I know really well is 2, so that left me with 25.
Beautiful. And I'm going to put a visualization here for our friends who may need that scaffold. Some of us may not, just to show you what Miss T did. So she had the 45, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. And then she took away the 20, right? 2 tens, because you're not taking away any 0 or any 1s, because there's no 1s, there's 0 1s. So then she took away 2 tens, 1, 2, and then it left with 25, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what she did next was she put 25 minus that 1, because we still have that 1 from when we decomposed 21. And it gave us 24. And that's the same answer we have that Ms. Hernandez found. So it seems like both of these strategies helped show that the number that the astronaut still needs to travel is 24 miles. So I'm going to put that right here into our and our number and our sentence on the bottom, because we always want to complete our sentence. So Miss Rosales, can you read the numbers of the sentence on the bottom to show our answer?
It says the astronaut still needs to travel 24 miles to reach her destination.
Beautiful, thank you. And so this tape diagram really helped us visualize the total amount of miles that the astronaut needed to travel. And we can see that the astronaut already had traveled 21 miles, and we just needed to figure out how many of the rest of the traveling she needed to do. So how many other miles did she need to do, did she need to travel in order to get that whole 45 total miles in the story? So make sure that when you are doing your story problem, you go back to the story and you really make sure you understand what's happening in this story. And if you are confused, you can always go back and read it again, because the story is going to help you very much with solving the problem. So if you are confused, just read the number sentence again, or the story problem, and it might clear things up, and come back to the video if you need some more support. So this is a more challenging one because it is asking you to figure out how many more miles the astronaut needs to travel. So take your time and try to challenge yourself with a different number set. I put them in different orders so that you're not using the same set over and over again. So challenge yourself. And remember, this week we're trying with 2 different pages on our seesaw so that you can show 2 different number sets and challenge yourself to do more than one equation. So have fun and do your best. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye,
Don't forget to
Bye.
subscribe.